The Uwezo Uganda 2024 National Learning Assessment Report has raised serious concern about learning outcomes in the country. According to the report, learning levels have stagnated or even declined since the COVID-19 school closures.
The first highlight there is that since 2021, at least evidence which was collected from 29 districts, nationally representative across Uganda, is that the learning outcomes have generally remained stagnant, and in some instances they have regressed.
At the launch of the Uwezo Uganda 2024 National Learning Assessment Report, education experts painted a concerning picture of learning recovery in Uganda.
For example, if we are looking, because we assess learning in reading, both in English and local language. We did assess in 4 local languages: Luganda, Lusoga, Leblango, and Runyankole Chiga. But also we assess in numeracy or arithmetic. So in 2021, when we did an assessment, because the assessment that we give a benchmarked against the primary 2 curriculum. So like, for example, if it's reading a story, that story is at the highest level, what is expected of a primary 2 child. So you would expect that a child who is in primary 3 upwards, they wouldn't have any challenges reading such a story. So in 2021, out of every 10 children assessed, 1 of them could read that story and understand it and answer questions related to it.
The assessment compared the data for 2021 and 2024, revealing that learning levels have not improved as expected.
That story has not changed. Still, we found that out of every 10 children assessed in primary 3, only 1 can read that story. And even when they progress up to primary 7, for example, we found that in P7, 7 years of primary education, at least we have about 23% of those who have not acquired that competence of reading and comprehending a text of primary 2.
The report highlights that learning outcomes vary across regions. The Central Region continues to perform best with 61% of children able to read, followed by the Western Region.
If we look at children aged 4 to 16 years, for example, who can competently read these words were extracted from the primary 2 curriculum. 61% in the Central Region are able to read competently. Those were 4 to 16 years. That is as opposed to only 29% in the Central Region, or 35% in the Northern Region. The Western Region is in the middle there, 46%. But you can see that regional variation, the differences, which indicates the inequitable distribution of learning outcomes.
However, many children nationwide are still not meeting the expected learning standards for their age. The report mentions that corporal punishment is still prevalent in schools. However, Freebert Baguma, the United Secretary General, explains that while this corporal punishment exists, he condemns it.
Along the way in the teaching learning process, these skills and values are lost because they are not assessed and therefore they don't concentrate on them. But when we move away from the school setup, we also find that the parenting is minimal. Some of these children come from child mothers, and therefore they don't learn a lot from home.
We need that synergy. We need to work together as a team. Everyone should have that responsibility. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Everyone of us must put in our efforts to make sure that we raise these children in the right way. And if we don't raise them in the right way, therefore the children will not learn. At home, different things altogether. And at school, the home says the school will take care. And at school, maybe they don't have much time for them. For them, it's about going to class and putting up something, those formulas and so on, do the work.
Dr. Kirofas Mugenyi, Commissioner Basic Education, on behalf of the Minister of Primary Education, Honorable Joyce Moruku Kaduchu, notes that the government acknowledges these learning gaps and is working on interventions to improve education quality.
Quality has been identified as a key issue in in creating a critical mass of adequately skilled labor force to actualize Uganda's demographic dividend. To achieve this, government has focused on strategic interventions that increase the relevance of education and training.
Julius Momuza, Church of Uganda Family TV, News at 8.